You're holding a warm coffee mug. It's a simple act you've done 1,000 times. But then, something shifts. Without warning, the mug feels like it weighs 50 pounds. Your fingers, your own fingers, simply let go. The porcelain shatters on the floor, but you're not looking at the mess. You're looking at your arm, trying to command it to lift, to respond, but it hangs there. A heavy, disobedient piece of dead weight that no longer feels like your own. You go to the mirror, a cold dread creeping up your spine. You try to smile, to reassure yourself, but only half of your mouth obeys. The other side sags, still and lifeless, like a melting wax mask. The face staring back at you is yours, but it's a stranger's expression. A terrifying distortion of the person you've known your entire life. And when you try to call for help, to say something as simple as, "I'm not okay," the words get trapped. They come out as a thick, tangled mumble, as if your tongue has swollen and forgotten its purpose. The thought is perfectly clear in your mind, but the connection is severed. This is the moment of silent panic. It's not the fear of dying. It's the fear of what comes after. The fear of becoming a burden, of being trapped inside a body that has betrayed you, of seeing the love in your family's eyes slowly replaced by exhaustion. If this is a fear that lives in the back of your mind, I need you to listen to me very carefully. This is not just a part of getting older, and it is absolutely not your fault. My entire career as a physician has been dedicated to this single issue. For the past 2 decades, I've worked on the front lines, helping seniors not just survive these moments, but to thrive beyond them with their independence and dignity intact. I'm here today to give you the tool that can make all the difference, to turn that helplessness into power. We are going to turn fear into a plan. What if I told you there's a 10-second protocol, one used by paramedics themselves, so simple you can do it right now, that clearly differentiates a common dizzy spell from a red alert for a stroke? This isn't just a piece of medical advice. It's the emergency procedure that could save your brain. It could mean the difference between a full recovery and a lifetime of dependency. Before we reveal this simple, powerful test, I need you to make a commitment. Not to me, but to yourself, to your health, and to the people who love you. Commit to being prepared. Do that right now by clicking the subscribe button, ensuring you have this life-saving information when you need it most. Press that like button if you are ready to trade that feeling of fear for a feeling of control. And finally, take 1 second to comment below. Which of these signs scares you the most? The face, the arm, or the speech? Knowing what you fear is the first step to conquering it. Let's begin. To understand how to fight this, you first have to understand what is happening inside your head during those terrifying seconds. A stroke is not a mysterious curse. It is a plumbing problem, a sudden, catastrophic interruption of blood supply to a specific area of your brain. And just like with plumbing, the problem can happen in one of 2 ways, a clog or a burst pipe. Let's start with the most common one, the clog. Think of your brain as a sprawling, brilliant metropolis. You have districts that control your speech, others that manage your movements, and command centers for your vision and memory. The arteries are the highways, delivering the essential fuel, blood rich with oxygen and glucose, to keep every district powered up and running 24/7. An ischemic stroke, which accounts for 85% of all cases, is a massive, sudden roadblock on one of these critical highways. This roadblock, this clot, often forms when a buildup of fat and calcium inside the artery wall, like rust in an old pipe, suddenly breaks open. The body rushes to heal the rupture, forming a clot that is meant to be a patch. But in the narrow confines of a brain artery, that life-saving patch becomes a traffic-stopping disaster. Traffic on that highway grinds to a halt. The flow of life-giving blood is completely cut off. Within minutes, the brain districts that rely on that specific highway begin to black out. Their cells, their neurons, start to die in a devastating chain reaction called the ischemic cascade. But there is a glimmer of hope here. The area immediately surrounding the dead core, a region called the ischemic penumbra, is not dead yet. It's starving, it's failing, but it can still be saved if we can clear that roadblock and restore blood flow quickly. This is why every single second counts. Now, about 15% of the time, the problem isn't a clog. It's a burst pipe. This is called a hemorrhagic stroke. Imagine a major water main has burst right under the city's most important avenue. This often happens when years of chronic high blood pressure have relentlessly pounded against the artery walls, weakening them until they can no longer withstand the pressure and they finally rupture. Here, the damage is twofold. It's a crisis of both supply and destruction. First, the districts downstream from the brake stop receiving their vital blood supply, just like in the other type of stroke. But now, you have a second, more violent problem. The blood that has escaped is flooding the surrounding area, physically compressing and crushing the delicate brain tissue. Your brain is enclosed in a rigid skull. There is no room for extra fluid. This flood creates immense intracranial pressure, causing widespread chaos and damage far beyond the initial break. It's a double catastrophe. The districts are dying from lack of supply, and they are being destroyed by the flood. It's a crisis that requires immediate, expert intervention. Whether it's a blockage or a bleed, you must see that a stroke is a physical event. It is a failure in the brain's infrastructure, not a personal failing or an inevitable part of getting older. It is a mechanical problem that has a mechanical solution, and the first step, the one you can take, is to recognize the alarm bells the moment they go off. And that is precisely what the FAST protocol is designed to do. Let's break it down, step by simple step. The FAST protocol is the 10-second test used by paramedics and emergency room doctors across the globe. It is simple, it is fast, and it is devastatingly effective at unmasking a stroke in real time. It is the tool that replaces panic with a clear plan of action. I want you to memorize this. Teach it to your spouse, your children, your friends. It could be the most important piece of medical knowledge you ever learn. Let's begin with the first letter. F stands for face. Specifically, facial drooping. Here is exactly what you do. Look the person directly in the eyes and say, "Can you give me a big, toothy smile?" You are looking for symmetry. In a normal smile, both sides of the mouth move up equally. The warning sign is a stark, unmistakable lopsidedness. One side of the face will move, while the other remains slack, drooping, as if it's been disconnected. The smile will look more like a grimace. Why does this happen? The command to smile travels from your brain's motor cortex, down through the brainstem, and out through the 7th cranial nerve, a delicate wire that controls all the muscles of facial expression. When a stroke strikes that part of the brain, that wire is effectively cut. The signal is sent, but it never arrives. The result is this sudden, one-sided paralysis. You are not just seeing a strange expression. You are seeing the physical evidence of a neurological power failure. The second letter is A for arms. This tests for arm weakness, which is often one of the first and most obvious signs. I want you to ask the person to do this simple action. Please close your eyes and hold both of your arms straight out in front of you, with your palms facing the ceiling. Hold them there for 10 seconds. It's crucial they close their eyes, so they can't visually compensate for the weakness. Now, you watch closely. A healthy person can hold this position easily. But if a stroke is happening, you will see one of two things. Either one arm will slowly, almost magically, begin to drift downwards, or the palm will start to turn inward, a motion called pronation. They are not doing this on purpose. Their brain has lost the ability to command that arm to resist gravity. This happens because the brain's motor control center is cross-wired, the left side of your brain controls the right arm, and vice versa. An arm that drifts is a direct signal of damage on the opposite side of the brain. The third letter is S, for speech. A stroke frequently attacks the brain's sophisticated language centers. Your test is simple. Ask the person to repeat a clear, simple sentence. A classic one paramedics use is, "The sky is blue today." You are listening for two distinct problems. First, is their speech slurred, thick, or garbled, as if they are trying to talk with a mouthful of marbles? This is called dysarthria. The muscles of the tongue and mouth are weak. The second, and often more distressing problem, is aphasia. This is when the person struggles to find the words at all, mixes up syllables, or speaks complete nonsense. They know what they want to say, but the brain's dictionary has been damaged. Think of Broca's area as the part of your brain that forms the sentences, and Wernicke's area as the part that understands them. A stroke can knock out either one, severing our most fundamental connection to the world, our ability to communicate. And that brings us to the final and most critical letter. TT stands for time. If you see any one of these signs, the face, the arm, or the speech, the test is over. You do not need to see all three. Even one is a red alert. Your next action is not to hesitate. It is not to wonder. It is to pick up the phone and call 911 immediately. And when the operator answers, you must tell them two things. I think my loved one is having a stroke. And most importantly, the exact time you first saw the symptoms. Why is the time so critical? Because of something we doctors call the therapeutic window. For the most common type of stroke, the one caused by a clot, there is a powerful, clot-busting drug called alteplase. It can literally dissolve the roadblock in the brain and restore blood flow, but it can only be safely given within a very narrow window, typically the first 4.5 hours after symptoms begin. For every single minute that you delay, the brain loses an estimated 1.9 million precious, irreplaceable neurons. Time is not just money. In a stroke, time is brain. Now I need you to listen very carefully. Right here is where a well-intentioned mistake can turn a crisis into a catastrophe. Many people see a stroke and think it's like a heart attack in the brain. So they reach for the one medicine they know helps a heart attack, aspirin. I'm telling you now, in the strongest possible terms, stop. Never, ever give aspirin to someone you suspect is having a stroke. Here is the life or death reason why. You, standing there in your living room, have absolutely no way of knowing if this is a stroke caused by a clot, or if it's the 15% of strokes caused by a burst blood vessel in the brain. If it is a hemorrhagic stroke, a bleed, and you give a blood thinner like aspirin, you will pour gasoline on the fire. You can catastrophically worsen the bleed, dramatically increasing brain damage and turning a survivable event into a fatal one. Only a CT scan in the hospital can tell the difference. Your job is not to medicate, your job is to call 911. There are a few other critical do nots. Do not give the person anything to eat or drink, not even a sip of water. A stroke can paralyze the muscles used for swallowing, and they could easily choke or aspirate fluid into their lungs, leading to a deadly pneumonia. Also, do not try to be a hero and drive them to the hospital yourself. Paramedics can begin life-saving treatment in the ambulance. They are a mobile emergency room, and they know which local hospitals are certified stroke centers, capable of providing the urgent care needed. Let them do their job. So you know what not to do. You know not to give aspirin. You know not to drive. You know not to wait. Now let's replace that list of don'ts with a powerful list of do's. This is your action plan. This is how you turn that cold knot of fear in your stomach into a shield of preparedness. It's not about what you might take. It's about what you must do to be ready. Your first action happens tonight. Not tomorrow, not next week. Tonight. I want you to say the acronym out loud 3 times right now. FAST, face, arms, speech, time. Again. FAST, face, arms, speech, time. One more time. FAST, face, arms, speech, time. By saying it, you are carving it into your memory, making it a reflex, not just a piece of information. This is the first step to owning this knowledge. Next, after dinner tonight, when the family is together, I want you to do something that might feel a little strange, but it is critically important. Ask for 2 minutes of their time, turn off the television, and teach them this protocol. Go through each letter. Have your spouse smile. Have your son or daughter hold out their arms. Make it a 1-minute drill. This simple act transforms a terrifying possibility into a shared family plan, ensuring that the person closest to you knows exactly how to save you. Now, for tomorrow morning. Your first action for the day. Take a small piece of paper, a sticky note, anything, and in big, clear letters, write FAST, call 911. Then, I want you to stick it on your refrigerator door. Why? Because in a moment of sheer panic, your mind can go blank. This simple note will be a beacon. It will cut through the chaos and remind you of the one, single, most important thing you need to do. It's a calm instruction waiting for you in a crisis. While you're at it tomorrow, create your emergency card. Take an index card and write down your full name, your date of birth, a list of your current medications and their exact dosages, any known allergies, and an emergency contact person with their phone number. Place this card directly behind your driver's license in your wallet. This card speaks for you when you cannot. It gives the paramedics and ER doctors the information they need to save precious, life-altering minutes. It is your medical voice. And finally, this is your action for life. Remember our plumbing analogy? The rusty pipes and the pressure building until something bursts? The best way to survive a stroke is to prevent it from ever happening. This means taking control of your risk factors. Check your blood pressure regularly. Know your cholesterol and blood sugar numbers and work with your doctor to manage them. If you smoke, you must make a plan to stop. These are not just numbers on a chart. They are the direct measurements of the health of your body's critical infrastructure. You now hold the power to change the outcome. You are no longer a passive bystander to this disease. You are the first line of defense. You are the person who can spot the signs. You are the person who knows to call for help immediately. You are the one who can stand between someone you love, or even yourself, and a lifetime of disability. You have traded helplessness for a plan. The knowledge you've gained today is your emergency fire extinguisher. You now know exactly what to do when the alarm bells ring. But the next essential step is to fireproof the house. In our next video, we will tackle the silent risk factors that cause the pipes to clog and burst in the first place. I'll show you the simple daily habits that protect your brain's delicate arteries. Click on that video now so you can complete your shield of protection. Act on this today so you can live a long, independent life tomorrow.